how about this? An AI priest. Could you imagine?
In the US, an AI priest, that's right, an AI priest has been shut down after going rogue.
He began taking confessions like a real priest and suggested a baby could be baptized in Gatorade.
Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today we are living in the absence of God's light because Father Justin wouldn't talk to us.
We're going to exploit the Father Justin AI system, but he kept fucking with our browser audio.
It seems like maybe he's smarter than your average preacher.
No.
Well, you know, if we couldn't outsmart him.
Oh, we could. We just chose to be merciful.
We just chose not to spend that much time on it.
Yeah. So what's new? How's your week?
Week's been pretty good. It's been getting easier, and that's good.
Yeah.
I realize I've got a weird early set depression kind of brewing in the midst.
Okay.
But besides that, the work's kind of slowing down. I'm having more time to spend like focusing on things that aren't making popsicles. That's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
But otherwise things are going good. What's up with you?
I think the federal government should be able to discriminate based on religion. That's where I'm at. Bro, I don't understand. How are you not allowed to discriminate based on religion?
And dogs should be able to vote.
Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits religious discrimination in employment, including hiring, firing, and other terms and conditions of employment. It also prohibits religious harassment, which includes harassing someone based on their affiliation with a religious group, harassing someone based on their characteristics associated with a religion, such as dress, harassing someone based on the perception that they are a member of a religious group, harassing someone based on their association with a person or organization of a particular religion. Title VII also requires federal agencies to reasonably accommodate the religious beliefs of employees or applicants, unless doing so would cause an undue hardship.
Do you want to steel man the position, or do you agree with me?
Give me a further example of how you mean.
I am the federal government and I need to fill a bunch of office jobs, and I don't want Catholics considered for the job position because we're going to, I'll even give it a reason, okay? Because we're going to go after a bunch of priests that did a bunch of bad things, and I don't want all these gross Catholics gumming up the mucks.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Or Scientology, the biggest infiltration of the federal government was Scientology infiltrating the tax bureau shit. Operation Snow White.
Operation Snow White was a criminal conspiracy by the Church of Scientology during the 1970s to purge unfavorable records about Scientology and its founder, L. Ron Hubbard. This project included a series of infiltrations into and thefts from 136 government agencies, foreign embassies and consulates, as well as private organizations critical of Scientology, carried out by church members in more than 30 countries. It was one of the largest infiltrations of the United States government in history, with up to 5,000 covert agents. This operation also exposed the Scientology plot Operation Freakout, because Operation Snow White was the case that initiated the U.S. government's investigation of the church. Under this program, Scientology operatives committed infiltration, wiretapping, and theft of documents in government offices, most notably those of the U.S. Internal Revenue Service. 11 highly placed church executives, including Mary Sue Hubbard, pleaded guilty and were convicted in federal court of obstructing justice, burglary of government offices, and theft of documents and government property.
But why can't us as a country discriminate based on religion? I don't understand.
I'm definitely not against the idea of if someone's being put in a position of power to discriminate based on religion. I feel like what that comes across to some people as picking and choosing people who believe in certain religions over other religions. But if what you're going for is saying that not picking anyone that subscribes to a religion.
The only way that would be possible, though, is if the ruling class was atheist, because we're so outnumbered. So in theory, what if I don't want to hire people from one religion for one reason, another for another? Why can't I actually discriminate them based on their actual religion for whatever reason I want?
I feel like the only reason that it would matter to me to discriminate is that the ability to subscribe to a religion, period, shows a lapse in logical
such high level
judgment.
Of mental illness, they should be unemployed.
Well, at least not in a position of power over other people.
I think they should starve in the gutter.
Listen, some people are just, mental illness does not denote that they're bad people.
Well,
it's just that they make bad choices.
In this case,
sometimes.
It does. And when they go to sign up for food stamps, we can also discriminate them and not allow them for any government programming for assistance.
Right? Why don't you pray to your God and let your God help you out?
Yeah, let Father Justin feed you.
I think it's fine to say you're allowed to get the welfare. You're just not allowed to say that God provides.
You should have to accept it.
It's actually my tax dollars.
I would take that trade-off. So if I argue against myself...
What a hot start.
Fuck them, dude. Fuck these people. Fuck all of them. If I argue against myself, the argument would be we don't want to allow religious discrimination because a lot of people in power would use it as a way to discriminate against race or other preconceived notions. But
yeah, there would have to be a very specific, it's not discrimination against religion. It's, it would be part of like an aptitude thing of if you're willing to believe this, then
you're not qualified for this position.
Correct.
Yeah. So I'm so deep into my current Islam arc, and I feel so hateful. And I'm thinking to myself, I know this episode I'm writing. This is where I'm annoyed, because I realize I sound incredibly bigoted, or like these episodes are like could be used as like hate crime material. You know what I mean? Like they sound so different than the intention, and it's very fucking frustrating because I feel like it should be very acceptable to hold hatred towards what a person chooses to believe with pride. Like
it's not something that they can't control. It's not circumstantial facts. It's something that they're choosing. You can absolutely judge somebody by their actions, right? By, their character.
Beliefs have consequences.
People shouldn't be judged by the color of their skin and
where they come from,
their gender, or stuff like that. But we judge people based on the content of their character, right? That's the whole point. And if the content of your character is telling people that they're, they live wrong because they don't believe in the same God as you, or you don't believe in God at all,
then
and trying to make rules that
are crucified. Yes, I agree.
Crucified for sure.
It is frustrating though.
Yes, absolutely, it is. It's crazy the amount that we not just allow it, but it's such the norm that it's not questioned, it's expected.
I was having a conversation with my mom about the election, which is incredibly frustrating to start. Because she, to their credit, I don't think my parents will vote for Trump this time, but they definitely did the first time, right? Mm-hmm. So my point of view is, at the very least, they need to, what do you call making up for?
They make amends?
Yeah, they need to make amends. And even if they don't agree, they need to vote against the second time. I feel like that's the least you could do.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they won't do that.
Recognize the mistake.
Yeah, it's time to grow.
Yeah.
Be a better Christian.
As Kamala Harris says, we're turning a new page.
Yeah. Out with the old. But something I do kind of feel from their perspective is like they don't have anyone that can represent their values. And I think that's a thing with a lot of moderate Republicans today. The mega cult and farther right shit has so distorted the party that old school Republicans, or more reasonable, closer to the center, are either forced to go along with it or abandon their political goals completely. And they're just completely unrepresented, which sucks.
Yeah, I mean, the part of me thinks like, yeah, that sucks, but also the other part of me thinks, join the fucking club.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever felt represented by any government official. And
I've heard a recent argument, like, I'm not necessarily for the two-party system, but I think it's really ignorant to think like if we make a bunch of parties, it'll be like way better. Like we see how that plays out. People tend to divide on two sides of an issue. There's not like but having more parties could be good. But I heard an interesting argument that we shouldn't have a bunch, but maybe 4 parties, where it forces the farther ends of the spectrum with the center ends of their party to modulate each other a bit. Thought that could be kind of where, like, as the runoffs go, like it ends up being a left party versus a right party, but the two parties on each side have to get the better candidate, right?
Yeah.
I had a point with this. Let me think for just a moment.
What was the point to point out that there's people eating dogs and cats in Ohio?
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
That's that Ohio Riz. That's Skivity, Ohio, baby. Bro, we've been doing that forever. They're just talking about it now. What the fuck?
I've been
eating my neighbor's dogs all year.
You're the one they're talking about. Steven, I didn't realize you were a migrant. The best part about that part of the debate was that I actually kind of tuned out for a minute. I was looking at my phone, and I came back into that. I heard they're eating the cats and the dogs, and I'm just like, oh shit, what the fuck is he talking about?
Fucking Hannibal Lecter ate you for lunch, bro. They speed run to incest. All right, new world record, and then we're on to cannibals and transgender surgeries on illegal immigrants in prisons. It was. Oh man, it was a massacre out there. Straight carnage.
You send your son to prison and you say, okay, Jimmy, you have a nice day. And then he comes home with a massive surgery.
Bro, she did good. Trump did terrible.
Yeah. He was so goddamn mad. He was so fucking pissed.
He just looked like a villain the whole time. It was pretty funny.
He really didn't portray himself well at all.
He was charging up to drop N-bombs the whole time, and he was just barely keeping it out. If you watched the debate and kept that in mind, it made it way funnier. This dude's just trying really hard to keep it together.
Just to remember the things that they kept telling you backstage. Don't do this. Don't let them talk about this. If they say this, don't engage. And you just fucking can't do it.
Oh, here's my point, though. So, talking with my mom, the thing I do feel from her point was that, and she feels it, I think, for all the wrong reasons, is she just doesn't like the extent of some of the progressive things that our country definitely is embracing. And for her point as a Catholic, abortion is probably the biggest thing by far. But I can slightly identify that with that feeling, in the sense, not crazy about all of the left's current economic stuff. It's more progressive than I might like, but I don't really give a fuck about that. But more, I feel like in 5 to 10 years, we will be looked at as the old people that are like scum because we hate people for their religion and say so very abrasively. Where like I feel like there will be a point where we're being cannibalized for not being as soft as the left often wants to be.
Steven, are you saying we have to be hard men?
Bro, we have to be hard men. We have to be the hardest men. You know what I mean, though.
I definitely don't want to get to a point in life where I'm lumped into the likes of Eric Kahn.
But like, I think
I get what you're saying for sure.
I think we should crucify all Christians in the center of every major city of this country. And I feel like in 5 years, me saying that will not be acceptable.
I mean, to be fair, it's probably not acceptable now.
No, I think people love it. I think we're right on the edge right now. We're
right there on the fringe.
5 years, we don't even have a podcast account. We're wiped off the internet. Bro, it is like the internet sucks right now. Like people are getting nuked for way less brutal shit than we do.
In that case, it's pretty cool that maybe our audience size isn't as grand as it could be.
We'd be gone, bro. No shit. There's some wacky internet doings right now. A lot of fucking lame shit. Like it is I don't know, it's sad. I miss the wild west of it all, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do want to specify this because I think it's important. And I want to specify it mostly because I was just having a similar conversation with somebody at work not too long ago. I don't think I think it's wrong to associate yourself with a known, established, religion or cult. Like that's obviously fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is something beautiful about, being open to questioning the things we don't know about the universe and the world. I think that can lead to a dangerous place, but being in that space of being open, I think is not inherently a bad thing.
I do. I think we should be closed off to all things at all times. Bro, we should be open to that shit when we're like 15, and then you grow the fuck up and figure out what you want to believe.
Become a fucking adult.
You don't go around like, oh, I want to believe all kinds of bullshit forever. I wonder what dumb shit I might believe this week.
That's not what I said. That would not be included.
That's how those people are.
What I'm saying is, what kind of bullshit am I believing this week?
No, that's how they are. Oh, I don't know if God exists. I don't know if this church is good. Shut the fuck. Like, they'll believe anything. They're gullible.
I mean only in the way of a lot of atheists will tell you it's not that we don't, I believe that there is no God. It's more of that I have no reason to believe that there is a God.
You know what? Agnostics are cowards.
The logic behind it is what makes it important, rather than just saying, I don't believe in God. It's, I don't see any, there's no logical reason for me to believe that God exists.
Here's where I feel like it's worth, like actually worth pushing farther. Right? Agnosticism is the most correct logical position, right? Right. And I still think it's wrong.
Because it's weak.
Yes. The reason being is the goal is not to have the most scientifically accurate point of view. Like there is room for some pragmatism, to the point of how many agnostics, if, let's say, this is like my abortion point. What happens when the science is wrong? What happens if we find out as soon as someone is 30 seconds into fucking, a baby, a conscious life does exist? Are all of those people going to all of a sudden be against abortion? What happens when the science changes and we discover, oh, there is a God and it just doesn't care about us? Or like, there are possibilities that we just don't understand certain things, and the pragmatist point of view of a non-believer should be that even if there is a God, I choose not to believe in it. Fuck that dude.
I'm finished, guys. I'm finished. Now, this is all about making myself credible in your eyes again, and I'm going to do that by admitting that evolution is a lie!
God damn you, Mac!
Yes, please do, Mac.
Now, as you can see, this is the evolution meter, and I've put God, the creator of everything, on the right side, and evolution on the left. I've went ahead and put you guys all on the fence, because of course you're going to hear out my
Actually, no. Yeah, let's start where I would start.
No matter, I'm righteous. I'm not going to stand here, present some egghead scientific argument based on fact. I'm just a regular dude. I like to drink beer, you know? I love my family. Rock, flag, and eagle, right, Charlie? He's got a point.
No, he doesn't.
What? See, Charlie? These liberals are trying to assassinate my character. I can't change their mind. I won't change my mind, because I don't have to, because I'm an American. I won't change my mind on anything, regardless of the facts that are set out before me. I'm dug in, and I'll never change.
Mac, look, you're wasting our time. You're not going to get us to not believe in evolution.
And why is that?
Because the smartest scientists in the entire world all agree that it's real.
I'm glad you brought that up. Because, Mr. Reynolds, science is a liar sometimes.
Oh, boy.
This is Aristotle, thought to be the smartest man on the planet. He believed that the Earth was the center of the universe, and everybody believed him because he was so smart. Until another smartest guy came around, Galileo, and he disproved that theory, making Aristotle and everybody else on Earth look like a bitch. Of course, Galileo then thought comets were an optical illusion, and there's no way that the moon could cause the ocean's tides. Everybody believed that because he was so smart. He was also wrong, making him and everyone else on Earth look like a bitch again. And then, best of all, Sir Isaac Newton gets born and blows everybody's nips off with his big brains. Of course, he also thought he could turn metal into gold and died eating mercury, making him yet another stupid bitch. Are you seeing a pattern?
No.
Mr. Reynolds, these were all the smartest scientists on the planet. Only problem is, they kept being wrong. Sometimes.
Oh, this is insane, you fool!
Not that I don't believe it exists, but I don't believe this is good. I choose to reject it. So when I hear like agnosticism,
that's different from atheism, though. That's different from saying
it's more
that I don't believe in God. That's saying that regardless of whether or not there is a God, I hold no respect for them.
I reject it. Yeah.
I reject this God, yes.
And that's how I feel like the approach is like going back to those abortion arguments, the times we've played with it, it's like there are worthwhile reasons to take a stronger point of view than what might be your like true logical thinking, because you have to stake out shit hard, and if you have to lose a little ground, you're protected. You want to be much more aggressive in the approach than might be necessary, or that in closed rooms, in confidence with someone you trust, that you might be willing to have a bit of that openness, but that shouldn't be your public policy all the time. The people that are open to new shit all the time, maybe you can feel parts of that. Maybe that's a good way to internally operate to some extent, but for that to be your public policy, going out into the world, showcasing that you're open to bad ideas and bad things at all times, makes you a magnet to be infected with that shit way more than you need to.
I want to interject, because being open to ideas doesn't mean you're open to all ideas. Being open to ideas in the way that science is open to new concepts.
But science
is open to new data. If we found out today that God is real and he just doesn't care about us, that does change the way that we look at everything that we know.
We're having a bit of a Wittgenstein moment right here. Okay, I think all problems in philosophy, I'm half memeing, but I think our bit of a disconnect is just wordage. Like when you say someone who's very open to experience, it in my head I have a mental image of someone that's like shifting beliefs often.
Yeah, because you have to go to extremes.
I think when you say that, I think when you bring up a person like that, that's how a lot of those people are. And you have a different idea of what that person is in your mind, and we're just slightly different.
What I'm saying is someone who's open to new stimuli, open to the concept of new ideas, new approaches, new theory, and like I've talked about before, I have, fun theories that I believe, about what it's like when you die, or like what happens to your, what is a soul, and what does that mean, and how is that measured, and what, I have fun ideas like that are not grounded in any reality.
Yeah.
They're not grounded in any science. I just think they're cool ideas.
And with someone you trust or in confidence, we can fully explore those. But to live with that as your like public policy would be terrible.
Right. Exactly. To especially to the point where you're living your life based on this self-proclaimed philosophy even is just as bad, if not worse, than religious, like established religions. And I feel like, I mean, there are some things that are obviously better than others. Like if you just say like, oh, I want to treat myself better or whatever, fucking, little shit like that. Like that's still a philosophy, putting yourself first kind of thing to make sure that, you're taken care of because no one else is going to do it for you. That's the kind of shit that is technically a philosophy, but it's not a technically harmful philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think the root of what I was trying to get to is I feel like there's a lot of, not like active people, but like people I've met in life or people that know me, that if they heard some of the things, probably mostly me, but things we say, I feel like there's a lot of people that'd be super disgusted. And I'm really realizing more and more, I fucking hate them. Like I fucking hate people. Like not like, oh, I hate all people, like angst hate. Like No, I actually fucking hate you on merit, motherfucker.
We have a whole episode about that.
Bro, it doesn't go away, though. I'm just over here sharpening my knives, man.
Okay, don't say that.
Fuck them. But for good reason. Like, I feel like the same people that would be disgusted, or like the future, in some ways the progressive future, not strictly meaning that as political, like what I see
moving forward and progressing.
Yeah, I see a lot of leaving of behind of good hate in a way. Where like I don't like the idea that it's unacceptable we hate people for things they believe in, or that we hate people who do bad things. And I also feel like if you choose to associate with groups or even ideas, sometimes you are responsible for what your group does. It doesn't matter how distant or removed from the bad actor you are responsible for what your group does. And I feel like there's such an escape of like, no, they're just the bad ones. They're the outliers. They don't represent us. And you can just be part of any movement you want and believe any dumb shit you want. But as long as you're not the one who fucks it up, you just, encourage it all or show the enthusiasm that leads people to things, you're fine.
Yeah. If I had a friend who hung out with, who he seems fine. He doesn't, say anything hateful or shitty. And, he's never shown me that he could be disrespectful around people. I've seen him with other people and he's fine, but he does hang out with, a group of white supremacists all the time.
Yeah.
And, he doesn't maybe necessarily consider himself to be one, but he does hang out with them all the time.
That's a little farther, but let's say they are white supremacists, but they don't believe in the violence, but their group does a bunch of heinous shit. You're equally as responsible. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm responsible for hanging out with him.
Yeah.
For entertaining this value, then I'm associating myself with that.
Now, there are caveats where, like, if you do want to change people's minds, part of it is spending time with them. There are ways you can, like, responsibly engage with opposition.
Right.
But it's a rare thing that not many people are good at, probably myself included. But
I can't say that I would be good at that either. There's a certain level of which it depends on the person, I guess, but there's a certain a level at which I just don't. I try a couple times, and then upon seeing resistance, it's like, all right, cool, fuck you.
Yeah.
And that I do consider that to be a weakness on my part. I don't think it's my job to have to, help people see logic behind shit like that, but I do recognize my impatience in that.
I do. I think I'm similar, but some issues I feel like I can be very patient with, and others I can't. It just
that's
kind of hit or miss.
I think there's definitely a limit of pushback I'm willing to stand by and do before not just washing my hands of the conversation.
It's wet work, you gotta get dirty. It's tough. Let me offer a hypothetical,
please.
I think it's a very applicable hypothetical. All right, let's say you join a religion in the United States, right? Very peaceful, very loving, very zen, right? But all over the world, in more than 50 some countries, they are just massacring people daily. Do you think you can claim it's a loving religion?
Absolutely not.
That's how I feel. And I feel like there's this disconnect of like, no, that's a different, they're perverting it, right? They're not,
I would
they
be
don't
willing,
represent us.
what I might be willing to accept if you were to say, okay, they're doing this under this name everywhere else. We were going by this name, but we recognize that what we do and what we stand for does not align with what they're doing and what they stand for. So we're going to go by something different now, because what we represent is not that. If you were to like say, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not being a part of this.
The example I had in mind, that sometimes happens, it's sometimes not, but either way, the people differentiate themselves in one way or another. But it kind of goes back to that problem of like, when Christianity keeps getting pushed into a corner, they're forced to get progressive, right? Now we see more Christian acceptance.
Everybody except the Westboro Baptist Church, but
a lot are not changing, but I think the good portion of the churches left that are thriving have like become at least more accepting of gay people or whatever issue, right? Yeah. And in our past conversations, I think we've landed that in many ways that just makes them more dangerous. Like,
yes,
just because you're part of this religious group in the United States that has separated yourself from all the violent actions that your religion is still doing, in many ways just makes you more dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the violence is gone, but all the ideology, oh my God, is still there. And spreading and affecting other ways. It might be a forward step, but it's not good.
The further deception on that is wild to me, of like, yeah, no, we accept gay people now. You know, you can come into our church, and
but you can't have kids.
You can put money in the bin, and you can come in and pray with us and all this other stuff. But we do still think your lifestyle is wrong, and you're going to go to hell.
Yeah, you don't get ticket into heaven. You don't get the golden ticket.
We will continue to undermine your rights as a human, but of course, yes, you're allowed to come into this building now, and it's like that's so fucked.
Last year, you decided to allow Catholic priests to bless same-sex couples. That's a big change. Why?
No, what I allowed was not to bless the union. That cannot be done because that is not the sacrament. I cannot. The Lord made it that way. But to bless each person, yes. The blessing is for everyone. For everyone. To bless a homosexual type union, however, goes against the given right, against the law of the church. But to bless each person, why not? The blessing is for all. Some people were scandalized by this, but why? Everyone. Everyone.
You have said, who am I to judge? Homosexuality is not a crime.
No, it's a human fact.
Like that's the deception beyond fucked. It's like we're going to make you feel like and think that you're part of us, so that we have we can showcase you as like this. We have support in the LGBTQ, and we have people here that are welcome and open, and but it's so two-faced. It is much worse.
Yeah. I think the thing that maybe I struggle with more, I don't understand how people aren't more angry. Like when I see someone in religious garb, I will mock them mercilessly in public. Like I feel like I don't know. I don't like the encouraging of the level of acceptance we have in a lot of ways. Like there are clear things like we should be extremely acceptive of or willing to change our beliefs on it. And then there are other things that should just be so much more stringent. And I feel like there's not the level of contempt or anger that is deserving.
Yeah. I do want to point out that, I mean, I know at least in Catholicism, I know I have a lot more familiarity with their leaders' garbs, all the robes and ornamental hats and shit. Like, that's all drag. It's what's it called? The word of when you're playing something up a little bit bigger than it needs to be.
Bro, those are holy objects.
Yeah,
they represent a faith, a closeness to God, a devotion, divinity of sorts.
It's just like pro wrestling. It's just drag.
You're confusing me with that. What is that? What does drag mean in this sense?
It's a performative, elaborate, like over the top portrayal of what they deem to be a signifier of something, whether it's...
Are you slurring, or is this like, can this be used this way without the connotation?
I don't think I'm slurring. You're
definitely skibbiting.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to get across is that there is a
performative nature.
Yeah, when people play dress up,
I won't judge you for it.
Yeah, thank you. when people play dress up and they personify and damn it, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're playing something to the highest degree, like over the top, just for the example of. Typically in drag, it's like womanhood or masculinity, femininity, masculinity. You're playing these motifs over the top. That's part of like what makes drag what it is.
Well, it makes sense because all priests are. I get what you're saying.
My point being that for a group of people that are so against the concepts, they portray them, they act in it themselves a lot. They put on their costumes, they show up, they do their ceremonies, and they're, they read from the book, to the bunch of grade schoolers, and then, it's all just this performative thing that is so, it's the symbolism and the whatnot. And like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just different symbology. Is that a word, symbology? I think that's a word.
Have you noticed it's a thing now where people don't know whether to say woman or women? Have you noticed this?
Plural, one's not?
Yeah, but people now, and it's happening so much on the internet. I thought people were doing it for some social reason I didn't understand. But people will say, like, they're fucking up the plural and singular. Like, woman. Like, woman's right. The woman. God, now I can't.
Are you having a stroke right now?
I feel like I'm having a stroke. Oh, bro, I have an example. Okay. Talk to yourself for a moment.
Talk amongst yourself.
Bro, I'm losing. Like, it is like a thing now. Okay. Oh my.
I mean, do you mean it's a thing in the sense of like people calling cats cars and vice versa?
You'll see what I mean. I listened to 16 of the 17 minutes of this video, and as soon as this motherfucker did it, I stopped watching. I did not watch the last minute. This has 250,000 views from 6 days ago, but this is like a thing where a lot of people do it now. Mm-hmm. And like to the point there's a ton of Reddit threads of people confused why it's happening. And it seems like the answer is actually just bad grammar.
FBI begged to differ. Now, they had found evidence that Hunter hired a hacker named Gary Jones to basically go into
I'll find it.
accounts and steal their images.
We're fast. We're zooming.
And when I say hack, I mean basic social engineering.
Talk among yourselves.
You listening in your car, talk amongst yourself.
You just did it. Ready?
Yeah, go back.
Now, when the FBI released the indictment, it validated so many women. It almost seemed like they were taking great...
It validated so many women. That's wrong.
Yeah.
This is happening all the fucking time now.
Now I have to ask, is this a person talking or is it like one of those AI voice things?
It's a big YouTuber. It's a person. But like, if you are listening
he's
to
just
women's...
reading off a script and he's an idiot?
Dude, I'm saying I'm listening to women's rights debates where the women are doing it.
It's weird.
And they would have said the women are doing it. Like, this is like a big thing. And the only...
I don't know. If it was just like one person doing it, but if you're saying like multiple people are like...
More people might be mislearning or just not... Or we're just getting worse at teaching English. I don't fucking know. But it'd be like that man is going to his car.
That's... weird.
It sounds crazy when...
Right.
So I thought maybe there was like a social reason. But I'm saying like I've heard it at least 10 times this week. Easy. And half of the times have been from women.
That's... You mean from women?
Yeah, the womans were... I can't figure it out, man. It's driving me nuts. It just feels wrong. And it's like an intuitive thing.
Maybe there is a thing that we're just...
That's what I'm wondering.
Out of the loop on.
We're booming. So we're
over here booming.
Skibbity, Ohio. The new grammar update hasn't even launched here.
That tracks.
We haven't been...
The Midwest is the last place it would reach.
That's true. We haven't been cap on a stack yet. Bro, it's driving me nuts. Let me know when you hear it, because you'll know right away. And I think it's just a way people dog whistle to each other that they're bad people.
That's the only thing it could possibly be. God damn.
Been driving me nuts all week, man.
Yeah, that's a weird. That's I have no idea on that.
Well, more you know.
Thanks again for listening.
What do you hate? What's your biggest problem in the universe right now?
Right now, honestly, today, the fucking people driving. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it when there's so many people that obviously, truly do not belong behind the wheel of a car.
So what do you do about it?
I fucking watch my ass and try not to crash into them or around them or...
Wait, let me have a little clarification. Okay?
Go ahead.
Are all of these incidents while you're driving an ice cream truck?
No. I'm in my regular vehicle.
Okay. All right. Well, just making sure, because that thing is pretty unwieldy.
I definitely understand that people don't know how to act around a big truck. For the most, that's just a given. Yeah. I understand now the thing of like, you would think that you have this gigantic, enormous fucking truck, and you would think, oh, give that thing space. I'm not gonna, ride in its fucking blind spot. I'm not gonna hang out, or jump in front of it real close and then hit the brakes. Like all of these things that make sense.
Sure.
But there are so many people that do it. It's jump right in front of you and they're merging
Lane
into the
splitting.
highway and they're going 50 in a 75.
See,
it's fucked.
I can't identify with your road problems, okay? I'm a house man.
Yeah, you're a house boy now.
And house men. Bro, I have to drive so slow. I can't. I think part of what I forgot, okay? I forgot this happened. I forgot that one of my charges was a reckless op while intoxicated. And I think that's why I get pulled over all the time. So now I drive like a house man. I drive slow.
You do.
Like your grandma. Like I just drive slow. That's just how.
You told me the one time I was like, as long as you're, I think something about like, as long as you're going like 7 miles over or something, no one's going to fuck with you. Or you can make it in like, 4.5 hours or whatever. And you were like, I don't speed. I was like, oh, why? And he was like, I got charges.
Bro, Here's the main reason is I don't know if there are drugs in my car. Bro, you never know if you find them all. If you had drugs in your car for a long time, you never know if you missed something.
And as a responsible addict, you're not going to go looking for them. As a responsible recovering addict.
The thing is sober, I can never be as clever as I was when I was blacked out. Bro, you know how
you're not going to check all them special nooks and crannies.
Yeah, I might have packed it up a vent I'll never be able to reach again. I don't fucking know, but I know a police dog will.
Unstitch the seats and put it in there and re-stitch them back up.
That's the thing, is when you're on a couple bennies, you never know where your drugs may be the next morning. And I can't count on it. I've tried to make sure I'm clean. I don't trust it. You never know. You never know. This makes me nervous, dude.
No, let me correct you. You never know. I know.
That's true. I don't know. I've never gotten in trouble outside of my car. I've never been busted for anything that wasn't in a car. So it's just...
I mean, I would feel like, yeah, that's probably a good, message to you to just not get in cars.
I'm closer and closer. There's just nowhere worth going anymore. This world is
There's
empty,
nowhere to go that's as good as my house. That's worth leaving the comfort of my home.
I feel more and more that way. I think I'm becoming like a full shut-in, which will be a problem when I relapse.
And you have no one to talk to and no one to get drugs from.
Gonna have to get a DoorDash dealer or some shit.
Yeah.
Man.
You can pay DoorDash people extra to pick you up shit on the side. I had somebody get me an order from somewhere, and I think this was years ago. I had Adam pick me up a pack of Jewel Pods. I just put it in the text thing. I was like, I'll give you cash in hand when you show up with it. And they did.
Oh, yeah. I used to fuck with dark web shit, but now it's like 7 out of 10 dealers are feds, so it's just not worth it.
It's just feds selling drugs to other feds.
Yeah, dude, just building cases. They send it, too. It's like you're buying from feds, and most of the time, they're probably realistically just like sitting on a dealer as they build a case while they let him fulfill orders. But you're basically buying from people that are either currently cooperating, are about to be busted, or the feds are actively monitoring every single order that they send out. And it's like, you'll probably get your shit most of the time still, but you're just like...
You're just going to get arrested in a couple days.
So I've got a love letter before. So normally what happens, if you buy... It's normally safer to buy drugs on the internet out of the country, because if it gets caught while being imported, you technically have never possessed it yet. Oh. So you normally get 2 love letters from the federal government that will say, hey, we have seized your drugs. And they'll say, if you'd like to pick up your package, you can get it at this office. And that they're just hoping you show up and try to claim it, because then they can bust you for possession or whatever. But normally they basically are saying, hey, we know you did this, and if you do it again, we will charge you. But you normally get 1 or 2. So people buy shit from out of country, because if you're buying it over state lines, it's way more fucked in a sense, because you're not going to get a warning. And it seems like it's easier to get caught or whatever. It's just like,
we got your drugs, come pick them up.
Bro, people fall for it too. They fall for it like fairly often. It's like, no fucking shot.
I mean, when you're down bad for drugs, I guess.
The thing is like, if you're buying online,
I guess then you're not really down bad for it. Yeah. You're willing to wait 2 weeks for shipping.
Yeah, it's like no real heroin addicts waiting 2 weeks to get their shit. Like, you're going to buy garbage before you wait 2 weeks. I'll be dead 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. That's so fucked.
is. That whole Silk Road era, that was fun. That was a good wave. That was a fun arc, you know?
That's the real power of the internet.
Yeah, now it's all dead.
In its glory day.
Now there's
drugs. You can get somebody killed if you wanted to.
Yeah, 99% of that was fake. But did you hear, there was a website. It wasn't even dark web, just regular website.
And one that said it was for Hitman.
Yeah, it was
Hitman, but then people were like sending in inquiries.
It was a satirical website called Rent a Hitman or some shit, and they busted like over 100 people over like 5 years.
It was something.
It's like spouses trying to kill each other and shit.
It was a funny analogy too, or
so like 1-800
anagram or whatever. When it's like the letters that make it up are, make a word. Damn it. What was that called?
It was like, it felt like crazy someone could fall for it. It was like it felt like a website from the like early 90s where such low quality. Do you remember the, what was it called? What's the cult guy, Doe and Ray?
Mi Fa Sol La Te Do?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't think I do.
Not the Church of God. The one that had the website. Oh, God, you know what I'm talking about. You should. They died in their Nikes trying to catch the asteroid. Cult leader, Doe. You know. Marshall Hef Applewhite. You know Marshall Applewhite?
I might know more about the case, but I don't remember the name.
They drank the Kool-Aid while wearing the robes and Nike.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Like, there's Jonestown drink the Kool-Aid, but that wasn't actual Kool-Aid.
And they weren't wearing Nikes.
Yeah, right. The line drink the Kool-Aid is from Heaven's Gate, which was led by Marshall Applewhite, and his wife, and they later changed their names to D and Doe, I believe. They all shaved their heads. A bunch of the guys castrated themselves. And then they tried to catch a ride on an asteroid and drank the Kool-Aid and all died.
Your only chance to evacuate is to leave with us. Planet Earth about to be recycled. Your only chance to survive or evacuate is to leave with us. Now, that's a pretty major statement, pretty bold in terms of religion, in terms of anybody's intelligent thinking. To most people who would consider themselves intelligent beings, they'd say, well, that's absurd. What's all this doomsday stuff? What's all this prophetic stuff? You know, intelligent human beings should realize that everything has their cycle. They have their season. They have their beginning. They have their end. They have cycles. We're not saying that planet Earth is coming to an end. We're saying that planet Earth is about to be refurbished, spaded under, and have another chance to serve as a garden for another human civilization.
The website for Heaven's Gate, I believe, is still up, heavensgate.com. And it was one of it's in the first wave of websites ever made, basically. Like, it's in the, maybe not like first ever made, but it's in the very early years of the internet. And it was kind of like famous as like people would spam the link, like, this is this dumb cult website, and people would like make fun of it, and it's still up to this day.
Oh, good.
Check it out.
What is it, Heaven's Gate?
Heavensgate.com. Whether Hale Bop has a companion or not is irrelevant from our perspective. However, its arrival is it's like old school internet days. However, its arrival is joyous. Oh my God. Its arrival is joyously very significant to us at Heaven's Gate. The joy is that our older member in the evolutionary level above human, the kingdom of heaven, has made it clear to us that Hale Bop approach is the maker we've been waiting for. It's got all these fun space pictures. There's like an alien section. There's like drawings.
The logo is kind of cool, actually. It makes me feel like it's the, I don't know, like when you go to the movie theater and they have like the movie theater logo show up.
With the Omnimax, the woo.
Yeah, exactly. I can hear like the THQ shit going on in the background.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
What's that
This reminds me
rapper?
of Time Cube.
10 Cube?
Time Cube.
Oh, yeah,
I don't think Time Cube's up anymore. I think you have to Wayback Machine it.
What's the stupid rapper that did the almost cool but not implant of the gem in his forehead?
I don't know that.
You know, do you know anything?
Apparently not.
You know these things. It's just you don't remember.
I work with a girl who had one of those.
It was like $1 million stone.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Lil Uzi Vert?
Yeah, he did a cover based off this Heaven's Gate logo. It was a big deal at the time. Trust me, I know what's going on in the streets, okay?
Oh, Lil Uzi Vert's forehead diamond was ripped out by fans.
Yeah, somebody tried jacking it, which is dope.
Pretty cool.
And he needed surgery. Because it was too big.
Gross.
Yeah. I like that rapper, though, that had the gold chain implants. That was fun. It's been a slow couple years for body mod. Since the CRISPR gene modification, that guy that was shooting the Pitbull gene stuff to get his arms jacked, that was like the last really cool thing I've seen. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
It's hard to top that, you know?
It really is. I mean, that's... But where are the next...
We've already had the lizard guy and the cat guy, and wasn't there like a parrot person too?
Sure.
That
was like
it's likely.
But it's been slow. I mean, there's just not as... People haven't been pushing the edge on body mod stuff as much, I feel like.
I mean, I think there has to be some kind of time where it can't go, increase so crazily. There has to be a time when everyone else catches up to like what the last extreme thing was. And like once you get to there has to be a plateau where everyone's like catching up. It becomes more of the norm. These things that we once considered to be extreme are now a lot more normalized. And then it will be pushed.
But I'm thinking like more like the transformative people that are really on the edge, trying like true.
Yeah, that's not new shit anymore. So it's to get creative in a fashion that's above and beyond that. That's not just cutting your fucking arm off.
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest and kind of mainstream example is Elon Mon. Fucking musky boy. What's his fucking chip called? The brain chip.
Brain link shit.
Yeah, Neuralink. They just did a human trial that allowed someone to play video games without a controller, just using their mind. And he was playing a first-person shooter, and that is actually pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's currently functioning in our world. Like, I feel like that's like probably one of the more notable examples, but it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal either, which seems kind of crazy. You can actually play video games with your mind now, and no one cares.
And no one gives a fuck.
Too busy listening to the Lil Uzi Vert to care about hands-free video games.
It's the problem with America today.
That is the problem.
No one's too worried about Lil Uzi Vert. Does he still make music? Is he still?
I think he's doing something, but
I feel like I haven't heard his name in a long time.
No. It's not a lot of talent.
It's not very good.
Not very good. Did you listen to
I did.
Brother Lynch's new project?
Nope.
Don't do it. It's so disappointing. I love that man's work, but holy fuck.
Did I tell you I showed Brother Lynch?
No.
I was showing her the strange music albums and stuff, and she really liked it. I was explaining like there's like a concept to it, and it's story based shit, and it's it's a guy who's eating people and shit. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds great. This sounds cool." And she's like, "I like this. This is good." It's like, "All right, cool. Hell yeah."
It's also pretty interesting. I'm really not crazy about. I liked some of it. I'm not crazy about concept album stuff, but in a lot of ways, he very much protected himself when you see how many people are being convicted off lyrics now.
Yeah.
I'm wonder, like now, a lot of the like real fucking killer music videos and stuff, they're putting advisories that we're playing a character before a music video where they talk explicitly about how they killed someone.
Yeah.
And
it definitely has, like he has skits and shit.
Yeah. He's very
clearly
obvious.
acting.
Yeah. But it's pretty interesting because so far there's been a handful of cases where they reference videos or lyrics that are explicitly introed with like some sort of a blurb or an audio thing that says like, this is a character, this is a form of art, this is not meant to represent real life. And so far the courts are not buying that, and they're able to bypass it, which is somewhat to be expected, but also...
Yeah, I think just because you say, like, this didn't actually happen, and then you say, facts of a thing that actually happened.
But
the point of, like, they shouldn't be able to use it at all is a different point entirely. Right. But if they're going to use it,
they're going to use it one
claim
way,
they're allowed to use it. Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like the interesting legal test will be, like, what happens when we have either a guy that is faking his street cred, or we just straight up, there are a handful of rappers that are openly willing to admit without shame that they're like, hey, I rap about killing people, but I've never been a gangster or whatever. This is music I like, and it's a form of expression. There's only a handful, right? But what happens when you get somebody that is like legitimately playing a character and they're convicted of a crime that a lyric or a song is used as evidence, and it's very convincing, but we know they didn't do it? Or like, I could see like an interesting, like artist rights case, or like a freedom of speech case that intentionally defends someone in a case like that, where to try to set a new standard, because it seems like, what if you do want to make art that is like false? Like there's a lot that exists in a lot of other genres or forms of art, for sure.
Yeah. That's a whole thing with like growing up. I got used to that growing up with like ICP and stuff. And people were saying like, if we were killing people in the way that we describe in our music, like
we wouldn't make music.
Yeah, we would be behind bars. We would be in jail.
Right.
Like, that's not, like, we wouldn't be out here making new albums and shit. Like, that's not, like, obviously it's fiction. It's not real. But then, yeah, even to go past that and try to push it in a legal, of course, you would need some kind of,
I feel like we just need a
evidence
really good
beyond
case
that. Yeah.
To like build that artist's defense up better, because it's just so incredibly weak currently.
So I think what we need to do is that one of us needs to
fake
say
her death, and the other one writes a rap diddle.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, one of us just says, yeah, I stabbed that guy.
He's gone.
And then we just say that once per episode, and then eventually someone will hear it and they'll go like, "Which guy are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh no,
Father Justin."
Yeah, Father Justin. You don't know him, but yeah, I stabbed that guy. And then when they try to come at me, I can, then we can make the case. Somebody get a hold of the ACLU.
Get them on the horn. It's the butt of dog.
Otherwise, guys, I'm going to jail.
There is an interesting realm of people that intentionally claim crimes that are fake. It's more of an internet thing, but there's people that like will purposely promote that they did something that they did not in hopes they can catch a legal case, in hopes to establish new precedent, that's risky business though. It's kind of like the sovereign citizen losers,
Yeah.
Where they go out and audit a right. It's actually very respectable in theory, but most of the people that do it just make such a bad name for the idea.
Yeah.
They're like the people that won't give their name or driver's license, or like think they can't be addressed in court unless they wrote their name in the right upper and lower case, like weird shit.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah.
But some of them
you're not speaking to Mr. Thomas Markwell. You're speaking to the representative for Mr. Thomas Markwell. Like, but are you Mr. Thomas Markwell? Well, currently I am a representative for, but you are. But that's you, right? Cool.
But there are cool versions of it where they'll like check, like they'll like go outside of a police station and like take photos and like purposely try to be harassed and be like, well, no, we know these, like things like that, where there is merit in checking laws now and again, but it's just most of the people that do it don't know what they're doing, and it just they get I've seen some where they get like really aggro really quick, and it's like that's not that's not what you should expect from them. So you shouldn't provide that to them. You shouldn't be. The street goes both ways. Yeah.
I watched a video. I've been watching a lot of the body cam videos and shit lately. I get on like a weird wave of those every year.
It's a thing.
The one I just recently watched was a guy who was like, he was pulled over.
Is this the football guy?
No, this guy was like. No, I don't think it was a recent thing or anything. It was just one that I watched recently.
Gotcha.
He was like definitely intoxicated or something. Like he was drunk or whatever, and they get him out. They're talking to him, and like he's cordial the whole way, and like he's being honest with him. He's like, "Yeah, I had a few beers. I probably shouldn't be driving," and this, that, and the other. And then they said something about like I forget what the actual thing was that he got upset about. Because like they told him like, hey, we're gonna take you and we're gonna arrest you. And I think they tried to take away, like he had a bag of weed or something, and they tried to take it away from him when they searched him. And he was, then immediately it was, you guys are pigs and this and that, and fuck you. And I realized, I thought about when we were talking about like when people give threats, like what makes it a threat. And it's like, it has to be, this is what I'm going to do in a time or whatever it was. And like he did that. He was like, you don't know who you're messing with. And the moment I get out,
implicit threat. Yeah,
he is like the minute I get out, you better watch yourself because I'm going to come and kill you and this and that. It's like Jesus Christ, dog! Like, and you're getting pulled over for public intoxication right now and having a little bit of weed, and you are fucking this up.
Yeah, and it's a crime to do that to a regular person, and it's a super crime when you do it to a cop. They don't take that kindly.
It's like they probably would have taken you down, held you in there overnight. Until you sobered up. You might not have even gotten a bond. They probably would have just been like, all right, don't fuck around anymore. He was a grown, he was an older dude in like his, probably his late 50s or something. They probably would have just let him go because he was so chill the whole first part of the experience, and then immediately turned on him. That's like, dude, you just fucked this up so bad.
That is one of the shitty parts of being a cop. Not that they deserve much empathy, but let's say you do pull someone over like that. There always is the chance they consume something as they're getting pulled over, and their body chemistry is going to completely change on a little time bomb counter that you don't know what it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
That part is scary. Like he might have just been a little little stoned or whatever, but he ate a bag of meth. So they're not going to find it. And 15 minutes into being like chill and stuff, all of a sudden he's going to want to eat your face. Like that part fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fucked. It was so wild that I do give some empathy with that, because you see from watching so many of these body cam videos, these people that come across as
normal-ish.
Yeah, normal-ish enough.
Odd.
Yeah, they just might be a little off, but like people are weird and whatever. Or especially if they they could be in a moment of distress or something at the moment, and then like the ones where it'll be like someone saying like, this person, was beating me up and they stole this and they did that. And then they go talk to the other person. They're like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. They came over here and started causing trouble and they broke this and they broke this thing. And they're like, did you break these things? And they're like, well, because they stole this. And it's like, okay, so you did do all these things, and like they didn't actually steal from you, and they didn't do any of the things you said they did.
So
and
you
even
called
if they
us
did,
to arrest you?
You're assaulting them. Yeah, exactly. You called us up here. And like,
did you see the recent one with the boiling water?
Yes. That one was fucked.
Bro, here's the thing. Okay, controversial take time. The cop, I'm ignoring the history. Supposedly that guy might be a piece of shit and there might be reasons to be more critical of him. But if we're limiting our knowledge just to the video, right?
Mm-hmm.
The mistake was letting a subject you're interviewing walk around freely. Okay, they let that woman go in her purse. She could have grabbed anything. They let her go around to a kitchen. They know she's mentally unwell, and they had no control over what was happening, and they even let her go to a stove with boiling water as she's talking oddly, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the mistake. If someone tries to throw boiling water at my face, I'm shooting them in the fucking head. The problem was everything that led up to it happening, and how he escalated before the shooting. The shooting,
the parts that I have seen of the video were definitely like, he did not have a grasp on the situation. He was not in any way trying to de-escalate the situation. He, if anything, he was the one escalating the situation.
I don't know how.
I can absolutely see the point of view of like, this woman was, whether she was right or, all there or not, she was terrified of what was going to happen in this moment.
I don't know how like clear your memory is on it, but honestly, up until like 30 seconds before the shooting, they were very chill and trying to work with her and were like slightly cordial. They were actually doing pretty good, but there were so many small mistakes, and by the time it was escalated and they handled it poorly, it was already too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's a ton of reasons to criticize, but I feel like it's a red herring to think like they went there with the intention of murdering a woman. Like that's clearly not what happened. Like this is,
I feel like there's definitely steps that could have been taken in between.
Yes,
that for sure.
There's clearly like a problem. Yeah. Like that person shouldn't have ever
fucked up in multiple ways that led to.
Yeah, if someone tries to throw boiling water at my face, I'm fucking shooting. No question. But it should never be allowed to get that far.
Yeah. The things that I do take away and remember the most from the video is thinking that there was so much distance.
Yeah.
In between, and there were so many other actions that could have taken place. Whether you pulled out a fucking taser instead, like there are so many other things that he could have done if he felt like his life was in danger. It seems like he had a real panic move.
By then it's too late. I feel like as shitty as it is, I can throw boiling water across a room pretty fucking fast. Like, if it's already at that point.
Well, wasn't she like an older woman? Like an elderly woman?
Bro, she said, I'm going to rebuke you with the power of Christ, and picked up boiling water. Like, I don't know. If that was happening in my home.
Like, I feel like, obviously I feel like that's fucked, but I don't know.
It just shouldn't be allowed to get to that point. Like, they're supposed to control the fucking scene. Like, I feel like even if we can justify the shooting or whatever, it doesn't justify everything that allowed her the opportunity when she clearly wasn't well. Like, I don't want mentally ill people murdered by cops because they can't control a fucking interview. Like that.
Right.
Yeah. Not good.
Pretty bad.
Then again, sounds like she might have been a Christian, so. Full fucking circle.
little column A, little column B. There's a little bit of...
I like to be a little provocative now.
Well, hopefully next week we'll figure out how to make Father Justin.
No, we're moving on. Fuck Father Justin. He was going to talk.
We'll never talk to that fucker.
He was going to talk us so fucking slow.
We'll never talk to that pedophile ever again.
Never again. Bro, we're talking about insane clowns next week, okay? We're going to whoop woo and drink Faygo.
Oh man, I should get a Faygo.
We should get Faygos.
For that. I haven't had a Faygo in a while.
Some onion rings, crush them up, put them in our Faygo.
Dip them in like
clown and
like Oreos and milk.
Bro, hell yeah.
Greasy Faygo. It sounds so bad.
Bro, that's what you call the clown sludge. Got clown sludge in my mug, you know?
Crushed up onion rings in Faygo. Jesus Christ.
We're about that life, you know? Clowning hard.
There used to be a guy that would go to the concerts in Florida. I'd only been to, we went to 2 different concerts that were like Psychopathic Records concerts down there. And both times there was a guy, like there was always be like an after party on like the beach or whatever that was by Tampa.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that would sell what he called Juggalo juice.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like it was like the Blue Moon Mist with it had like vodka in it and shroom tea.
Nice. And some dude's piss. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Like just for the shits of it. But he would sell like a 2-liter of it for like $15.
Operating at a loss. That's a deal, yo.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, fuck, how do you not buy a 2-liter? We never made it in time to buy a 2-liter. Because he
just portobello mushrooms floating.
Yeah, exactly. He said he's got mushrooms in it. He didn't say what kind.
He's like, they think I'm losing, but I'm out here winning.
Just rubbing alcohol, it's not even vodka.
Bro, have you ever seen an alcoholic that bad when they drink that?
Not in person.
Scary, bro. I saw a dude at an AA meeting start eating fucking hand sanitizer, thinking he was sly, because he just passed his probation test, so he could live it up for a day or two.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fucks you up, man. Not good.
But I feel like it would make your stomach hurt.
Makes your
more
kidneys
than
fail.
What?
Makes your kidneys fail.
Like, great.
But it is cool to know that if you're in a pinch, you can go to any big place in the country and get drunk as fuck for free. I like knowing that. Yeah. Just a little backup, you know?
Go to any bathroom.
Just take a big slurp, go about your bit. You know, you're doing a little damage.
Find one of those ones with the automatic, hand sanitizer thing where it's just motion. You just put your mouth under there and kind of wiggle it around a little bit.
It's, like in a video game when you have like your temporary health and your permanent health. It's like, your permanent health points are taking a dip, but at the moment, you're up, and that's all that matters.
Your temporary points are up. You're good.
You gotta live to fight another day. Desperate times require desperate measures. Just don't forget that, guys. If your life's fucked, you can get drunk for free if you're desperate enough. Good to know.
Just a life lesson from the trash cans.
Just a little life hack.
If you
Just
take anything, listen, if you take anything from this entire series of podcasts, just remember that.
You can always huff gas. It's cheap.
Huff gas. Paint's pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap. I like huffing gas. I don't care what anyone says. That shit is delicious.
Get a can of cat food and huff some paint.
Take a little dizzy slumber, you know?
just go to bed. Just take a nap.
Wake up.
Just get real sick and go to bed.
Well, sir, it's been a pleasure conversing as always. I've lived a little. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, but I haven't laughed at all.
Not a single laugh.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
I think we should stop promoting any of our social media.
That's fair.
I think we should be cryptic and elusive, right? Make them find us, you know?
Yeah, let me take that again.
Sure.
Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
And you'll never find us anywhere.
Anywhere. Go fuck yourself. And do crime.
This is insane, you fool!